Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here, and welcome back to a new review on the channel. And today, guys, here we are to continue my AFL 2023 three-game match reviews. In today's video, going to be reviewing the final three games from round 21. And those games were North Melbourne vs Melbourne, St Kilda vs Carlton, and Fremantle vs Brisbane. And these were three very interesting games. Alright, so to the first game earlier today, it was North Melbourne taking on Melbourne at Blundstone Arena, and Melbourne got there in the end by 32 points, but boy, North Melbourne were a lot better in this game. They showed a bit of spirit, a bit of fight in Alistair Clarkson's coaching return game, and 10-11-71 North Melbourne to Melbourne 15-13 103, and Melbourne just too good, too strong in the end. Look, they were the better side in the end, but as I said, it did take them a little while. After half-time, they started rocking and rolling, but very good effort, though, from North in the first quarter, and yeah, it was a very big surprise to see them start that well, especially after last week. It wasn't a great game against West Coast, and then this week playing one of the best sides in the past couple of weeks in Melbourne. It was always going to be tough, but no, they started off really well, kicking 5 goals to 1. They kicked 3 more in the second term, but in the end, it was Melbourne that ended up kicking 7, so they really did launch a comeback, especially late in the quarter. Then the third quarter, they kicked 6 more goals to North's 1, and they went from being in a really good position, North, or in an okay position, to throwing the game away, and then they only get 1 more goal in the final term as well. So Melbourne's only 1 goal as well, so they kept them down as well, but after half-time, only the 2 goals for North Melbourne, which they'd be disappointed with, but again, though, it was a better effort, a better performance, and they can drive you in the right direction. Jack Zeeble, 138 fantasy, 113 for Hunter, 108 for Petrarca, 105 for Scott and Simpkin, 104 for Brayshaw. Goals behind, 3 goals for Neil Bullen, 3 for Ford, Pickett, Chandler, 2 for Petrarca, Van Rooyen, Goldstein and Petty. Disposals, 37 for Brayshaw, 33 for Hunter, 32 for Zeeble, 31 for Scott, 28 for Simpkin, 27 for LDU and Petrarca. Marks now 12 for Zeeble, 9 for McDonald, 7 for Hunter. Tackles, 8 for Taron Thomas, 7 for Phillips. Hit-outs, 30 for Gawn, 24 for Goldie, 21 for Tristan Zeri, 7 for Van Rooyen, 2 for Larkey. Team stats now were as Melbourne in the end, which dominated the inside 50s, 45-69. They also won centre clearance 11-14, but North were better in that area. They did win stoppage clearances. Melbourne won contested and uncontested footy. They won marks inside 55-17 relatively comfortably as well. North did lead for a little over half the game and got out to as far as a 33-point lead. But look, in the end, Melbourne were just the better of the sides. North did lay 10 more tackles, but a very good performance here from Melbourne. A really nice come-from-behind win. And yeah, this definitely keeps their top 2 hopes well and truly alive. Now to the Sunday Channel 7 game, and it was between St Kilda and Carlton at Marvel Stadium. This game had all sorts of finals hopes on the line, hinging on this result. And of course, next week's games now as well, especially for St Kilda, become really important. St Kilda do have another Sunday Channel 7 time slot fixture against the Tigers next week at Marvel. That one is just simply massive, but Carlton won this one by 19 points. St Kilda 8-6-54 to Carlton 10-13-73. It was very similar to the earlier game, which these two sides played earlier on in the year, except it was just St Kilda the better of the sides. It was another really low-scoring game, and St Kilda had 7 goals at half-time, only kicked 1 in the second half. They looked really good in the first and second quarters. They brought pressure, they brought intensity, they looked better, they looked to move the ball and actually bring some attacking footy as well, and it just felt like after half-time, they just couldn't execute anything which they did in the first term. It was all Carlton from half-time onwards. Carlton were a disappointing team in the first and second quarter, and then the script was literally flipped in the second half. It was just Carlton that came out playing way better, and St Kilda that couldn't do anything. So in the end, their lead at half-time, which was 22, wasn't big enough. And as I said, in that third quarter, 1 goal to 3, Carlton just came back, and then the last quarter, 0 goals to 4, and in the end, it was enough for Carlton to get a really comfortable win. 153 fantasy for Wood, 139 for Newman, 126 for Crouch, 117 for Akers, 116 for Marshall, 112 for Doherty, 108 for Clark and Fisher, 107 for Wilkie, 105 for Hewitt. That was a lot of names to get through. 2 goals for King, Motlop, Butler and Akers. Disposals now, 36 for Wood, 35 for Newman, 32 for Fisher, 31 for Crouch. Marks, 14 for Wood, 13 for Newman, 11 for Akers, 10 for Wilkie and Wiedering, 9 for Webster. Tackles, 10 for Clark and Still, 9 for Crouch, 8 for Marshall and Hewitt. Hit out, 30 for Marshall, 23 for Pitnet, 9 for DeConing, 1 for Caminiti and Kerno. Team stats now, it was the Blues that won inside 50s by 12. They also won clearances 22 to 46, 7 to 9 centre clearances, and a whopping 15 to 37 stoppage clearances. So again, this Carlton midfield was right on top of the St Kilda midfield, which was key to them winning this game. They won contested and uncontested footy as well. Did the Blues? They won marks inside 50. The Saints did lead for a little under 3/4 of the game, and they also out-tackled Carlton. But look, in the end, a really good performance here from Carlton, and this winning streak continues to get bigger for them, and their push for September is well and truly on. Now to the final game of the round, and well, we finished off a very interesting round in a very interesting fashion in the West. Freo taking on the Lions, and Fremantle 11-8-74, just lost to Brisbane 11-11-77. Brisbane win by 3 points. Their top two hopes also well and truly alive, just like Melbourne earlier on today, and just simply a massive win for their top two chances. As I said, if they had have gone down in this game, it would have been a huge hit. They would have been clear fourth, but now they are equal second. So how huge is this for Lions? I think they're currently in third. We'll check out the ladder in a moment. Look, the Dockers started off the game better. 2 goals, 2 to 1 goal for. The Lions did have some chances though. Then the second quarter, Fremantle's 3-goal blitz right here put them in front after the Lions did only a little bit more that quarter. Then the third quarter, it was 3 goals to 5. Brisbane did have the better quarter. It turned into a bit of a goal-for-goal kind of game as well. You can see on multiple occasions, goal-for-goal. Pretty much all throughout the quarter, except for when Brisbane did get their 3 in a row. That is what allowed them to come back into the contest. And then it was 3 goals apiece in the final quarter, but Brisbane kicked 3 goals 3. And Fremantle kicked 3 goals straight. So the 3 behinds that they kicked in the last quarter ended up winning after they were equal at 3/4 time. But simply a huge game for Brisbane. Fremantle, if you had any belief in their finals hopes, that is now officially gone. 149 fancy for Jackson, 125 for Sarong, 119 for Young, 113 for Berry, 109 for Zorko, 106 for Brayshaw, 104 for Neil, 102 for McCarthy. Goals behinds, 3 goals for Sturt, 2 for Cameron Frederick, Danaher, Schultz, Gunston, disposals 35 for Sarong, 29 for Brayshaw, and Young, 28 for Berry. We go to marks now, 12 for Rayner, 10 for Zorko, Hipwood, Andrews. Tackles, 10 for Young, 8 for Sukowski, Dunkley, McCarthy, 7 for Sarong, 44 hit-outs for Jackson, 38 for Fort, 6 for Tracy, 3 for Danaher. Team stats now, Fremantle won the inside 50 count by 2, 49 to 47. They also won, stoppage clearances 32-27, Lions won centre clearances by an extra 1. They won contested and uncontested footy as well, did Fremantle. Brisbane did comfortably beat them in marks, so 79 to 120, and also in contested marks 8 to 18. Freo led for a little over half the game. Brisbane did lay more tackles, and their pressure inside attacking 50 was better, 6 to 17 tackles inside 50 as well. But simply for Brisbane, we are getting to the point end of the year now. A couple of home finals at the game would be huge for them, and they keep their top two hopes alive, winning by 3 points in the West. So those results finish off round 20. We'll just have a quick little review. We'll go through the ladder. We'll also go through next round's fixtures. Western Bulldogs defeated Richmond by 55 on the Friday night. Essendon defeated West Coast by 1 first game Saturday. Also Saturday afternoon, Adelaide defeated Gold Coast by 28 points. Hawthorn, in one of the upsets of the year, defeated Collingwood by 32 points. Geelong defeated Port Adelaide by 12 points on the Saturday night. And Sydney defeated the Giants by 11 points also on the Saturday night. Now we go to today's games. Melbourne defeated North Melbourne by 32. Carlton defeated St Kilda by 19. And Brisbane defeated Fremantle by 3 points in the West. I think it is probably time to go to the ladder now, I reckon, before we go next round's fixtures. Now, again, Collingwood and Port Adelaide both missed out on huge opportunities this round, especially Collingwood. They were expected to win that game and couldn't quite get over the line. Melbourne currently sitting second after gaining a bit of percentage against North Melbourne earlier today. And Brisbane, they did not get a whole heap of percentage. And, well, their top two hopes are going to be huge. And they've got probably a big clash, probably the deciding factors to whether they get top two or not. Will probably be their round 23 clash with the Pies coming up in a couple of weeks' time. But anyway, though, Melbourne currently occupy the second place. Third for Brisbane, fourth for Port Adelaide, as I said, who missed out on a big opportunity. Carlton currently clear fifth, half a game in front of the Western Bulldogs and St Kilda and the Giants, who St Kilda and Giants had a couple of disappointing games on the weekend. The Dogs got a huge win. The Cats, despite their win, they're still currently in 9th spot. Sydney are in 10th, equal with Geelong on points. Adelaide are in 11th on 40. And then Essendon are in 12th on 40 as well. Richmond, they're on 38 and 13th. I think they need a miracle to get in there. And I think it is pretty safe to say Gold Coast and Freo are Gold Coast and Freo are probably over, especially due to due to the difficulty of Gold Coast run home. I think they're done. Richmond, they've got a very tough run home as well, so they're probably done as well. And then, of course, we know Hawthorn, North and West Coast can do their best to play spoiler at this stage of the year. But I reckon we've got 12 teams left in it at the moment. All the way down to 12th are the remaining chances. We're going to go to round 22, and we do have some big fixtures, including this one probably being the biggest. Friday night, Collingwood and Geelong. Doesn't get bigger than this. It does not get bigger than this, and I would believe if the Cats were to win this game, they will make finals. I believe they can win round 23 and 24's game, so I think if they win this, they're pretty much guaranteed to get into finals, and another huge loss for Collingwood. Nick Dacos is out with a serious 6-week injury as well, by the way. For anybody that wants to know any more information about that. Now, we've got a couple of Saturday afternoon games. We've got North Melbourne Essendon, which is going to be huge for Essendon's finals hopes. This is pretty much a realistic last chance. Weren't great against West Coast on the weekend. They're going to have to win this game if they want to stay in the hunt. North, much better performance indeed. Sydney and Gold Coast is also the second Saturday afternoon game, and that one is a huge game, especially for Sydney more than Gold Coast, but Gold Coast, they're still fighting to keep their very slim chances alive, but realistically, due to the difficulty of their run home, it is probably over for them. Brisbane and Adelaide, this is a huge game, and it might be season over for Adelaide if they cannot get the job done. That one will be a very interesting watch, though, for sure. Carlton and Melbourne on the Saturday night, that's going to be one of the games of the round, I reckon. That's just a huge game. That's just a massive game. And then also the Western Derby, West Coast and Fremantle, in a very special prime time slot, that one, on the Saturday night. Hawthorn and the Western Bulldogs kicks off Sunday's footy action in Tasmania at UTAS Stadium. And then this one is probably one of the picks of the weekend as well. Huge finals on the line, clash between St Kilda and Richmond at Marvel Stadium. And then Port Adelaide and the Giants, 4th versus 8th to finish off the round. That's going to be another really important game as well. So, got some huge fixtures coming up next round. But yeah, there we go. We've got a huge round of footy next round for sure, with some big games and some big rivalries and some big streaks that definitely need to be broken. But yeah, there's some huge games coming up next round. Anyway, though, thank you guys so much for watching. Please do make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you guys never miss another video on the channel. Thank you guys so much, and bye everyone. Flame Footy out.